So,
Okay, well, I'm gonna turn off my thing until I get straightened out.
I'm just letting you know, don't be throwing out personal info. Like your address and your phone number, stuff like that.
Unless you're giving out somebody else's, then it's okay.
Yeah. Who's that over there? Jim snuck in? Yep.
Yeah.
Jimbo! Hi, Jim!
Jim and Morgan over there.
I've never been to jail except to
Morgan.
visit.
That's my last name. Hey, Kim, welcome back. Glad you made it back this week.
I've been to jail,
Yeah,
to visit, to work,
If
and
not the first time, it
unfortunately,
won't be the last
as
either,
a
right?
involuntary resident.
Oh,
Just overnight.
sorry. Well, you know, that's something you can put on your resume.
Yeah, drink and drive, it happens.
Hmm.
I deserved it.
But hey, you know, now you can be proud of that.
And I can tell you what, not to do, is telling me you're the son of a police officer.
Oh.
Especially a neighboring community. Now, if I'd have been like in New Orleans lockup, I'd have got away with it. But I was in Gretna lockup.
What did you tell him?
I told him my dad was a police.
Oh.
And they immediately, oh, you think that's going to help you, huh? I went from the holding cell to solitary.
By the
Like
time I
13
finished the
hours.
sentence, I was in solitary.
Should have seen the look on their face when my dad come and pick me up in uniform, full.
Ah, they didn't believe you.
Uh,
And then,
my dad was a captain with the NOPD, so they'd have done a little
Wow.
research. They'd have realized the names matched. But I mean, it ain't like he'd have pulled nothing from me. He was like, "You drunk? You deserved it."
Yep.
that sounds about right.
My dad used to bring me back to school too. I got suspended a couple times, and my mom, she was like, "I ain't bringing your ass. You better call your father." He'd always bring me back in the police cruiser, all full uniform,
Oh, man.
just to make a point.
I bet you got quite a rep, though.
Oh yeah, nobody wanted to be my friend.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't have.
Fucking
That
narc.
wouldn't stop me. I wouldn't think so. Probably made a hit with the girls there though, because they like these badass ex-cons, you know.
In middle school and shit.
Nowadays, you gotta have all tattoos on you.
What, to be a
That's when
police?
You're not in prison.
It was against the NOPD policy for tattoos.
Yeah.
Really?
You had to wear long sleeves. If tattoos exceeded the garments, they
Mhm.
wouldn't hire them. They wouldn't make it through the academy.
No kidding. Wow.
I think they recently changed that though, because everybody's got tattoos these days.
They do.
You
And
know,
tattoo doesn't mean what people thought it meant back
No,
then.
it's changed from symbolism and I'm a badass kind of a thing. But now
Yes,
it's just
it has.
body art.
It really is.
Yeah.
The ones I have are like, are not symbols, but sigils, or, they mean something.
Right, mementos.
Yeah, they
Yes.
mean something major. So
you ever
yeah.
see the one where
How many do you have?
on the back of the guy's head?
I just have one. I'm designing another one. Trying to when I get a chance. Ever since I moved over here, I don't know where to go for a quality one. I don't want to go all the way back to Orlando to get that.
I have two small ones. I have a
That's cool.
little hummingbird on my
Aw.
back shoulder, under the shoulder blade, and I have a little dog that's dressed like George Washington on my right hip. It came from a nursery rhyme book, Mother Hubbard's. Um, oops, finally, my volume just worked. Yeah, I took it. I took it out of one of Matthew's nursery rhyme books. The picture, and you get it.
Oh. Wow, that's cool.
I might be able to show you the one on my shoulder. I'm not sure.
One time, I was gonna get a tattoo of my wife's name,
Yeah?
like in Chinese, because she's Chinese.
Oh,
I
nice.
thought it would look cool, so I said, "Write your name down," and then she did, and it looked stupid. I said, "I ain't putting that on my arm."
Aw.
Aw.
Hey, Doc
I was like,
Runn's
if it would have
online.
looked cool, it'd have been on there.
Doc Runn's online. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna bring him up and see if I can get him to come over here and see if
Oop.
Big Doc Run. See if he can
Oh.
do some comedy. But you don't want him?
Well, you better let him know the rules. I remember him. He likes to rant.
Forget it. Then I ain't gonna.
He's into that political shit. He won't last. I'll boot him. Nothing personal against him, man. I just remember the last time he was up here at tavern.
Who's that?
Doc Grun.
Uh,
He's funny, but he's politically charged.
Uh,
Or at least he was. I imagine he
still
still
is.
is. Probably even more now.
wow, people haven't come in yet.
I know. We've got 2 more minutes of the warm-up. And we're going to have to start.
Lily's here. Hi, Lily.
hello.
You have to start either way. Yep. Didn't get everything done today. Did that. Gotta do that. Oh, that's where. Okay. Let me go look here then. I can do one too, except.
Working?
Oh, that is so cute. I love that.
Oh, y'all trading tattoo pictures.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I sent one to you too, if you want to see it.
Yeah, we can show YouTube. It's appropriate, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Very much is.
It's up there anyway. All right, YouTube. Got this tattoo.
Oh my gosh.
And her back.
It's a
No long
hummingbird.
hair.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had long hair like Pepper right here. Or longer, actually, at one point.
Oops.
All right, y'all. I think it's time to start. Ready or not? Here we go. All right, everybody. Welcome to Hooligans Underground. Welcome to the standing room. Hey, cheers. The crowd goes mad.
Yes, we do.
All right, I hope everybody, or at least everybody American in here, had a good a good Memorial Day, a safe Memorial Day, and I hope y'all honored all our fallen soldiers.
Amen.
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 Hi, Cesar.
Hey, Cesar, welcome in. Fashionably late crowd's gonna start coming in now, I think. All right, y'all. Did y'all know that Boudreaux and Thibodeau, they both got fired?
Oh no.
Both of them.
Whew, how'd that happen?
Well, we'll worry about that later, y'all. They go down to the unemployment office after getting fired. And Boudreaux, he goes in first. The man behind the desk says, Mr. Boudreaux, I am so sorry to hear about your loss. What did you do for a living? Now Boudreaux, he says, I'm a diesel fitter. Now the clerk said, okay, diesel fitter, skilled labor, $800 a week till you find a new job. Next is Thibodeau. And the clerk, he asked Thibodeau, he said, what was your job? Now Thibodeau says, well, I'm a panty waist sewer. I sew the waistbands in women's panties. Now the clerk thinks for a moment, says, well, I'm afraid that is unskilled labor. So you're only going to get about $200 a week. Now, as they're walking home, Thibodeau tells Boudreaux, he says, I got to find a new job quick. I can't feed all them kids $200 a week. And Boudreaux, he says, well, I'll help you out. I'm getting $800 a week. But Thibodeau, he don't like that. He runs back to the unemployment office, furious. He says, how in the hell you give Boudreaux $800 a week and I ain't getting but only $200? The clerk replies, says, well, Mr. Boudreaux is a skilled laborer. He's a diesel fitter. Thibodeau said, well, that ain't no skilled labor. I sew the waistbands in the panties. I hand them to Boudreaux. He puts them on over his head. He says, diesel fitter. I think that's the more important job.
That's number 31. That one.
31?
All we gotta do is
Am
yell
I cutting
out.
into your list now?
Yeah.
I bet your list ain't Boudreaux and Thibodeau, though.
Yeah.
All right, we'll flip back here. Boudreaux and Marie was speeding along Interstate 10 over the high-rise bridge over Whiskey Bay. Boudreaux saw the red light flashing in the rearview mirrors.
Uh-oh.
I should say blue lights. Louisiana troopers got blue lights. Now, Boudreaux, he pulled over as well as he could to the side of the bridge. Then Mr. State Trooper walks up to the window with his clipboard in his hand. He said, did you know you're doing 80 miles an hour on a 60 zone? Boudreaux, he looked at the carpet of the truck for the cigarette he dropped. He said, nope, I was going 60. Now the trooper sounded kind of fed up as he looked at his clipboard. He said, no, clocked you at 80. The trooper looked over at Marie, who was sitting looking out the passenger window. And the trooper said, ma'am, I clocked this man at 80. He said he was going 60. Now you tell me, was it 60 or was it 80? Now Marie says, 60. I never argue with Boudreaux when he's drunk. The delivery wasn't quite up to it on that one, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
timing is everything.
Timing is everything. Each matters a little bit, too. All right, so open mic, as always. First person up here gets the mic. If you tell me you're coming, I'll introduce you.
Jim, you got some, don't you?
Well,
Come on, I know y'all got jokes.
Yay, Jim.
I'll do my jokes if you're ready.
All right, yeah, we're ready. Shoot, we're 15 minutes into the show.
Yeah, I'm
streaming
not used to
too?
coming up.
Yeah,
Not used to
we're
coming up after 30 minutes, but yeah. I saw a sign over the toilet at work that read, after use, put the toilet lid down. So I wrote below the words, you're a stupid toilet lid, nobody likes you. I came home on report card day and my dad asked to see my grades. I told him I didn't have it. I gave it to my friend. He wanted to scare his parents.
Oh,
Good joke,
I
Dad.
didn't turn out very smart. Once I went to rob a bank, I pointed the gun at the teller and I said, "All your money or your geography?" They asked me, "Don't you mean history?" I said, "Don't change the subject." What's the difference between Michael Jackson and Richard Pryor? Michael Jackson was burned using Pepsi and Pryor was burned using Coke.
Oh, yes.
A guy who lives outside Chernobyl watched a TV show about the nuclear disaster on HBO. He said he counted 14 inaccuracies within the first 20 minutes, then he ran out of fingers. You can't trust someone from Chernobyl since the disaster. Most of them are two-faced. The guy finds a job selling toothbrushes, and when he starts, he's told they're way behind on the quota. He starts selling and isn't getting near as many as he needs, and then the last day of the month, he comes back and he has sold twice as many as he needed. His new boss said, "Wow, you have to tell everyone here what you did to sell so many." So he said, "I gave each prospect a piece of chocolate. Here, have one." The boss bit into it and spit it out and said, "This tastes like shit." Yeah, it is shit. You want to buy a toothbrush?
Yeah, that's right. That's very good.
Don't worry, don't worry, Porcelana. I do have some new jokes, okay? I did some of these last week.
14.
They were good too. They were good to hear. Tonight.
Awesome.
The FDA
Porcelana.
Hi, sweetie. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Glad you made it.
Me
So
too.
glad you made it. We just got started a little bit ago.
Tried
Awesome.
waiting for you, but we couldn't wait no more.
I was picking up family from the airport. Anyway,
My
go ahead,
girlfriend
Jim.
went to the doctor and he told her, "Cut back on the wine. Your blood type changed to Chardonnay positive." Mother's Day passed a few weeks ago and I learned something about it. The least number of crimes are committed in the U.S. on that day. I think that says a lot about perpetrators, right? Maybe they don't want to do something their mothers wouldn't be proud of that day. Or maybe it's brunch, or you take every one of the mother off the streets and not even mothers are committing crimes.
Dang, it's like a bubble.
When one door closes, another one opens. You're probably in prison.
We're going into the bank.
Your mother or geography? You said bank. I hear ads for alcohol warning you to drink responsibly. That means don't spill it, right?
Hi,
Right.
Victoria.
Age 60 might be the new 40, but 8:30 is also the new 2 a.m.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Me too.
Seems the older I get, the earlier it gets late. The big good news, I finally got 8 hours of sleep. It took me 3 nights, but I got them. Well, I saw you the other day, that could be any day between yesterday and 45 years ago. Do you like me? Are you like me? Do you lose socks in the dryer? You know, they come back as Tupperware lids that don't fit any bowls.
And then there's that.
Or ball.
Balls? Did you see balls?
Someone steals mine.
You hate this? I hate it when couples argue in public. I missed the beginning. How am I supposed to know whose side I'm on?
Who started it? That's what you want to know.
Right.
That's funny.
Usually when someone asks me what I did on the weekend, I squint and I ask why. What did you hear?
Exactly.
Who's telling stories?
Pepper's Hillbilly Heaven used to have a pond in the back 40. It was a swimmable pond, had several fruit trees around it. Well, it hadn't been checked for a while, and Nick grabbed a bucket and headed back to get some fruit. When he got close enough, he saw and he heard some women splashing and having fun. And when he got closer, he saw they were skinny dipping. When they saw Nick, they swam to the deeper part and called out, saying, "We're coming out until you leave." Nick said, "It's okay. I didn't come here to see you ladies come out of the pond." Then he held up his bucket and he said, "I'm just here to feed the alligator."
Gotta get him out.
Right quick.
Or they can.
Yeah, they can feed the alligator. Yeah. I'd be afraid they might be alligator feed. Many people don't know this, but Randy is a 75-year-old millionaire widower.
You are.
Yeah, one day he introduced me to a 35-year-old, very attractive young woman, and I asked, "How'd you get a date with her?" He said, "Date? She's my wife." I said, "Well, how'd that happen?" He said, "I lied about my age." I said, "Oh, you told her you were 40 or 50? He said, "No, I told her I was 90.
That's funny. Put on a banana peel the other one in the grave.
My girlfriend's birthday was coming up, and I asked her what she'd like as a gift. While she was looking in the mirror, she said, "I want to be 8 again." On the morning of her birthday, I made her breakfast, Captain Crunch. Then we went to dinner. We went and had a Happy Meal. That night I asked her how it felt to be 8 again. She said, "You idiot, I want to be size 8 again." I think a lot of us here are getting old. You know how you can tell you're getting old? Your sweetheart says, "Let's go upstairs and make love." And I respond, "You know, I can't do both."
Too much energy.
Friends compliment your new alligator shoes, and you're barefoot.
Gross. Ew.
Sexy person catches your eye, and your garage door opens from your pacemaker.
Oh, gosh.
Going braless magically smooths out all the wrinkles on your face.
Every single one of them.
Gross.
That ain't right.
Oh, that's scary.
What face?
What face? You don't care where your spouse goes as long as you don't have to go along.
True.
Instead of being warned to slow down by the police, you're being told by your doctor. Getting a little action means you didn't need to take any fiber today. Oh,
Yikes.
kind of action. Getting lucky means you're finding your car at the mall.
That happens.
And an all-nighter means you didn't have to get up to go to the bathroom.
That's right.
That's the age right there.
That's it. That's
A mosquito told his girlfriend, "I would hunt a lion for you. I'd bite an elephant and bring back a liter of blood." His girlfriend told, "Just go to sleep." Mosquito said, "Why don't you believe me?" She said, "I told you before. Stop coming home after biting a politician."
Oh, gosh.
My girlfriend bought a parrot for $5. She asked the pet shop owner why it was so cheap. He said, "Well, it used to live in a whorehouse. He's healthy and he's intelligent, but his language can be colorful." Well, she set the parrot up at home, waited to hear what it would say. Well, the parrot said, "New house, new madam." Later, she had some friends over. Later, she had some friends over to play cards, and when they arrived, the parrot said, "New house, new madam, new girls." They all laughed. When I come home, the parrot said, "Hello, Jim." Back in my 30s, I moved to an apartment in New York. I was getting my mail for the first time. The next door next to the box is open. There was a beautiful woman, and she had nothing on but a silk robe. We started talking. Her robe accidentally opened up. We continued talking, and she was posing and showing me her assets. Then suddenly she grabbed my arm and pulled me to her door. She said, "I think I hear someone coming." Inside, she dropped her robe and asked, "What would you say is my best feature?" I said, "Your ears." "Ears?" she said. I said, "Yeah, when you said you heard someone coming, that was me."
Oh, God.
Oh,
Ba-dum-bum.
Let's see what we got. Yeah, this is my last joke for this evening. I got some new shiny shoes and went to a dance. I was so proud. I was walking up to every woman and asking them to dance. The first woman, I surprised her when I said, "I bet you're wearing white panties." She said, "Yeah, how did you know?" I said, "I saw them in the reflection from my new shoes." The next woman said, the next woman, I said, I bet you're wearing red panties." And she asked, "How did I know?" And I told her the same thing, reflection in my shoes. The next woman, I said, "Oh, well, I hope you're not wearing any panties." She said, "Well, I'm not," but I said, "Oh, good. Whew. I thought there was a crack in my new shoes."
Ah, ew. Ew.
All right,
Yeah,
big hand for Jim, y'all.
oh, way to go,
Yay.
Jim.
Good job, Jim. Good job.
Yay!
Dirty old man.
Better
He
get
is.
those shoes after all that.
I am old and dirty, that's right.
That's why we got
Those are too funny.
That's good.
All right, Boudreaux and Thibodeau, y'all. Again,
Okay.
topic
Yay.
of today's subject, or the subject of today's topic. They all decided that they was going to go and take a class at Nicholls State University. Big time college, y'all. Now the class is Psych 101.
Psych.
Pretty basic.
Psych. Psych.
And the instructor on the first day tells them there ain't no test. But at the end of the class, everyone has to dress up as their mood. And if the teacher can tell what the mood is, they're going to fail.
Ooh.
That's some deep shit, man. I'm glad I didn't take that class. So the day of the finals finally approached. And they all lined up, ready for their grades. Now, somebody in front is dressed all blue. The teacher says, you're blue with depression. Fail. Now, next up is Thibodeau. He's dressed all green. Teacher says, you green with envy. Fail. Now, Boudreaux, he's convinced he gonna pass. He stands in front of the teacher wearing nothing but a trench coat. He drops the trench coat to reveal a fruit on his Johnson.
Oh my.
Teacher stares him up, stares him down. She says, man, I ain't got no clue. You pass. But Boudreaux, what is your mood? Now old Boudreaux stands up there pointing at what he's done and he says, my name is Pierre and I am deep in despair. Deep in despair. Y'all get it?
This
Got
pair.
it. Got it. Got it. This pair.
Despair. Like
This pair.
despair.
Not that pair.
Yeah. I don't know why he said his name was Pierre. I have no idea. I think I just might have forgot to change that name when I was writing that.
It rhymes.
My name is Boudreaux, and I'm deep into Boudreaux.
Pierre and deep in despair.
It rhymes. It's
Deep in
good.
despair.
It works.
These nuts.
Nothing
don't
but
want me-
I'm deep in this pineapple.
pineapple, bro. That shit's acidic. Don't think that would be good.
Melancholy. Deep melancholy.
All right, Boudreaux, Thibodeau, and Claude. They all died.
Oh no.
But
Oh,
they went to
all
heaven.
at once? Damn.
And St. Peter meets them at the gates, and he welcomes them in. Says, there ain't no rules, except one. Now, don't tell me if y'all heard this. I don't want to know. Don't touch my ducks. Three men said, okay, and they head on in through the gates.
I heard that, yeah.
I haven't.
Now, I told you, don't tell me. One day,
I'm gonna
Claude
They don't
is
listen.
walking by and sees the ducks and immediately goes over to touch them. Well, St. Peter comes flying out of nowhere, grabs Claude, and marries him to the ugliest woman you ain't ever seen. Don't touch the ducks. Now, Boudreaux and Thibodeau are reminded, don't touch the ducks.
Mm.
Now, one day, Thibodeau, he sees the ducks. He decides to shoot one.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
It ain't exactly touching them. Again, St. Peter comes flying out of nowhere in a furious rage and marries him to an even uglier woman.
Oh my gosh.
You can imagine that. Now, Boudreaux, he swears up and down he will never, ever touch one of those damn ducks. One day, Boudreaux is walking, minding his own business, when out of nowhere, St. Peter comes flying down and married Boudreaux to the most beautiful woman you ever seen. Now, Boudreaux, he just can't believe his luck. And he asked his new bride, he said, how he got here. Wait, let me start.
Boy.
Boudreaux can't believe his luck and asks his bride how he got here. And his new wife says, well, I don't know how you got here, but all I did was touch one of those goddamn ducks.
Which makes him the ugliest one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's funny.
I haven't told y'all that hearing my own voice trips me up sometimes.
Really?
Yes.
It does.
Trips me up too.
So you don't talk to
Wow.
yourself?
I don't talk to myself out loud generally. I generally keep them comments to myself.
So you're hearing yourself for the first time, too?
Today, yeah.
That's
All right.
that.
I'll do one more.
Do one
Boudreaux
more.
recently had surgery, and as he was waking up in the recovery room, he opened his eyes and seeing Marie standing right there, groggily, he says, Cher, you look so beautiful. And he drifts back off into his medicinally induced sleep. Now, this made Marie feel pretty damn good. Now, a little while later, Boudreaux wakes up again. Again, he turns his head and he looks over at Marie. This time he mumbles. He said, you pretty damn cute, girl. Now, Marie, she's a little disappointed. She went from beautiful to cute. She said, what the hell happened to beautiful? Boudreaux, well, I guess these drugs are wearing off. Alright,
House
y'all.
for you.
The stage is ripe and ready for your jokes.
Ripe and ready now. It's all nice
Ripe and
sticky
ready.
gooey.
Who's coming? Randy?
Hey, come on up.
Andy?
Let's go, Sharon.
Randy.
Anybody?
There. There. Somebody?
They were fed in Glee. Oh, that's twice they were out.
To whoever wants to come up here, we won't be laughing at you. We're laughing with you.
Laughing with you.
That makes you feel any better.
Right.
Yeah, always making the promises.
All right,
well,
that's
I'll
what
do
they
a
all say.
couple. I'll do a couple.
All right, come on up. Everybody, let's welcome up
Yay,
Pepper.
Pepper. I
Sorry,
love Pepper,
Walker.
your baby. Oh,
Didn't mean a hard
That's
street
all
like
right.
that.
Can't hurt nothing.
Didn't at all.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Pepper.
Hi, Pepper.
Hi,
Hope everyone had a good holiday.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I told Santa that I wanted a little sister for Christmas. He winked at me and he said, "Send me Mama."
Don't mama. Sandy's a stud.
See you in September.
My little sister, Wild Kate, hates it when I invade her privacy. I know that because I read it in her diary.
That's cute.
I see my sister Morgan out here in the audience. She thinks she is so smart. She said onions are the only food that makes you cry. So I threw a coconut at her.
Proved her wrong.
Oh, I hear poor Solana laughing over there.
Uh-oh.
She came up to me the other day and said, "Mom told me to take out the trash for the rest of the year, and it's your fault. Pep, are you ready tomorrow?"
That's awful. No, ever. Not nice to my sister.
My sister recently lost her tongue in a bad accident. I would make a joke about it, but I think that would be very tasteless. While I was growing up, my parents always told me to try and try again when I fail, which is exactly why I have a little sister, Lily. My brother asked Dad, "Why did you name our sister Paris?" Dad said, "Because she was made there." My brother said, "Okay, thanks, Dad." Dad replied, "You're welcome, backseat." My little brother came into the kitchen one morning and said, "Mom, now I know why girls don't have willies. They fall off. I found yours under your pillow."
Oopsie.
My little brother wanted to be treated like a prince. So I slit his throat while he was sleeping and encouraged to my crown.
Ooh, dark.
That one tickled me.
Didn't expect that one, Pep.
All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, big hand for Pepper, y'all.
Yeah,
Hey, Pepper. That was awesome.
Awesome, Pepper.
that was awesome.
Good job, Pepper.
Hello, Cher.
Hello, how are you, wild one?
Hey, Chef.
Hello,
Hey,
dear.
Cher. Been a while since we've seen you.
I know. It's good to be back.
Yay!
Seizure reminded me.
All right, seizure.
Isn't that how you say his name, Caesar?
It works.
Seizure.
We know who you're talking about.
Oh, that
Give 'em the
you're right.
Pronounce it lighthouse.
Oh, well, it says Caesar Lighthouse.
Seize your lighthouse.
Caesar Lighthouse.
Beacon in the night.
Yes.
Well, darn. Y'all know I'm a hillbilly. Leave me alone.
We love you. We love you. It's all good.
Well, now it's obvious, isn't it?
Get off my lawn.
Salute.
I just just graduated from the Loretta Lynn School, you know? 4th grade is all I got.
You must have some redneck jokes then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come tell us.
Google,
I
Google
will
it.
when it's my turn.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
it'll come up
now.
soon enough. As soon as we get through this here Boudreaux joke.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, y'all. Boudreaux, he
Boudreaux.
decided to tie the knot with his longtime girlfriend, Marie.
Ooh.
Now, one evening after the honeymoon, he was organizing his golf equipment. And Marie, she was standing there watching. And after a long period of silence, she finally said, Boudreaux, you know, I've been thinking, now that we married, maybe it's time, you know, you quit golfing. Because you spend so much time on the course, you could be better spending it with me. Now, Boudreaux, he got this horrified look on his face all of a sudden. He says, Marie, for a minute there, you was beginning to sound like my ex-wife.
Ooh.
Marie, she screams. She says, ex-wife, I didn't know you was married before.
I ain't.
Boudreaux said, I wasn't.
But you about to be if you keep that
That's
up.
a fair warning right there.
That's right.
All right, we can find one. Misculus ranius. Blah, 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 blah. I know y'all didn't understand that. But since we're on the topic of golf, I happen to see one here. Boudreaux, Thibodeau, and Hebert, they all like to play golf. But they couldn't because their wives wouldn't let them.
Uh-oh.
Now, after a couple of years, they finally managed to make it to the golf course. And as they were waiting to tee off, they were discussing how they finally got their wives to allow them to go. Hebert, he says, well, I had to buy my wife a diamond necklace for her to let me come. Thibodeau, but that ain't nothing. I had to buy Clotilde a sports car for her to let me come and play. Thibodeau and Hebert naturally looked at Boudreaux and asked him how he managed to get out here. Boudreaux says, well, it was easy. When I got up this morning, I walked into the kitchen, I patted Marie right on her booty, looked her right in the eye, and asked, golf course or intercourse? She drew my jacket and said, you better take this. It might get chilly out there. The married life.
Ouch.
Oh man.
I ain't never been golfing. I guess I ain't never bought the right gift.
There's a lot of jokes about golfing.
Yes, there is.
Boudreaux saw Thibodeau walking into the doctor's office one day. He said, he asked Thibodeau what he was going to the doctor for. And Thibodeau told him, he says, I'm going to get me a circumcision.
Ooh. Ouch.
Boudreaux shaking his head. Ooh-wee, that's gonna hurt you, yeah. Thibodeau says, man, are you sure that circumcision is gonna hurt me real bad? Boudreaux replied, he said, man, let me tell you, I had me one of them circumcisions when I was a baby. I couldn't walk for a year.
Oh,
Yikes.
All right, open mic time.
Sure.
One more Thibodeau
Who
time.
wants to go up?
I'll
Karen?
tell. I'll tell. I've
All
got
right.
you.
All right.
All right, everybody. Let's welcome up Cher to the stage.
Thank you, Nick.
Hey, Cher.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see
Hello.
y'all.
Hey, you're
Good
back.
to see you again.
Good to see y'all again.
Yeah.
So here's my joke. There was a woman and she sees a man in the grocery store and she's staring because she thinks she knows him. And she says, hello. And he says, do I know you? And she says, well, I think you're the father of one of my kids. He thinks for a moment back to the only time that he was ever unfaithful to his wife. And he says, are you the prostitute that I had sex with on the pool table in front of everyone while your partner whipped me with a piece of wet celery? She said, no. She said, no, I'm your son's school teacher. Okay. So this man says to his wife, he said, honey, do you remember when we had sex for 1 hour and 30 seconds? She said, no, dear. She said, that's when they moved the clocks forward 1 hour. Yeah, I made it 30 seconds.
Not even 2 minutes. That's bad. Typical guy.
Well, there was this man, and he asked this fairy to make him desirable and irresistible to all women. She turned him right into a credit card. That ought to do it.
That's irresistible.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, big hand for share,
Good
y'all.
job.
Hey, Sharon.
Hey.
Well done.
Thank you.
Cool. Very fun.
Thank you.
It's the only thing better than coon-ass jokes. Hillbilly jokes.
Hi, sir.
Good night.
All right, pulling a random one up. The morning after the wedding. Oh, that ain't right. That ain't right.
That's funny all in it by itself.
Yeah, that's funny all by itself. That's right.
You gotta write a joke with that as a punchline.
All right, y'all, bear with me. This one is long, and it probably ain't even funny. I'll find out.
That's funny.
A few years back,
There you go, getting our hopes up.
there was only 2 stores in Catahoula, Louisiana. Catahoula. Boudreaux owned one of them, and of course, Thibodeau owned the other.
Or
And Boudreaux was very successful. He sold all kinds of merchandise and made loads of money. Thibodeau, on the other hand, hardly ever had any customers and barely sold enough to keep his store open. Day after day, Thibodeau would watch as people went to Boudreaux's store and leave with all kind of stuff. Thibodeau just had to find out what Boudreaux's secret was. So he walked across the road and he asked Boudreaux, he says, we got the only 2 stores in town. You got all the customers. Sell all kinds of stuff and you making tons of money. I ain't got no customers. I ain't selling nothing and I ain't making no money. What's up? Now Boudreaux, he said, well, Thibodeau, my friend, got to push your products. Thibodeau says, what you mean, push? And Boudreaux tells him, you got to be a salesman. So you got to watch. I'll show you. Now he walks over to this lady. He says, lady, good morning to you. What can I do you for on this fine day? Now Miss Abel, she say, hello there, Mr. Boudreaux. I, just as fine as I can be, and I'm looking for some grass seed. Now Boudreaux says, well, I got plenty of them seed. He puts the seed in the counter. He says, what you going to do with the seed? Well, you know my front yard, it's all dirt. And I'm going to, plant me a yard. And Boudreaux, he says, well, if you're going to plant them seed, you're going to need a water hose and a sprinkler. And Miss Abel says, you're right. Give me that too. Then Boudreaux says, and you're gonna need some fertilizer. And Miss Abel says, okay, load me up. Well, Boudreaux then says, Miss Abel, you know, when your grass starts to grow all green and tall, you're gonna have to cut it. You're gonna need a lawnmower. Now Thibodeau almost peed his pants as he tells Boudreaux to sell her a lawnmower too. Now, as Miss Abel leaves with all her stuff, Boudreaux tells Thibodeau, he says, see what I mean, Tib? You got to sell your stuff. You got to push your product. That's what I mean. Now, Thibodeau takes the lesson, goes back to his store. He's saying, push the product, push the product. He's pumping himself up. Now, while he's waiting, he sees about 10 more people walk into Boudreaux's store and come out with all kind of stuff. And finally, Miss Broussard, she came into his store. And Thibodeau thinks, push the product. He said, good morning, Mrs. Broussard. How are you on this fine day? She replies, well, I ain't doing too good. I started my monthlies today, and I need some tampons.
Uh-oh.
Got some?
Yeah.
Now, Thibodeau, he's still thinking, push the product. He runs to the back of the store. He comes back with the tampons. He says, Miss Broussard, you're going to need a lawnmower to go with them tampons. She said, what you mean I'm going to need a lawnmower? Thibodeau said, well, I figure a woman in your condition can't do no fooling around, so you might as well mow the grass.
Oh my God.
Y'all see what happens when I don't pre-read?
That's good.
That's good, Bill.
I thought it was funny as hell.
I did too. I thought it was.
It's a sales technique. Sales 101.
So,
I wanna do
I
one
hate to
more.
run off, but I've got somebody waiting on me. I've got to go.
All right, well, nice seeing you.
Thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right,
Thanks,
thanks,
for
Sharon.
doing
Thanks for
that.
coming
Bye,
back. Tell us some
Sharon.
funny jokes.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Oh, that was nice of her to come by.
It was. She's so cute.
All right, we'll do another one. Then we'll try to do an open mic again. Well, we actually kind of close, huh? All right, real
Uh-huh.
quick. 86-year-old Boudreaux was living at the nursing home. And one night, he rolled his wheelchair into the room where all the elderly ladies was playing bridge. He held a clenched fist up in the air and announced very loudly, he says, anybody that can guess what's in my hand can have sex with me tonight.
Uh-oh.
Now, didn't take long. One of the female senior citizens replied very sarcastically, a watermelon. You got a watermelon in your hand. Boudreaux, he looked at him, looked at his closed fist. Well, close enough.
Oh no.
It's about right. Close enough.
Now, you know ain't no old man gonna pass on nothing. Right, wrong, it don't matter.
Hell no.
Alright guys, we got like 6 minutes left. So anybody here got a joke in their back pocket that they
Got a
itching to
few.
get rid of?
Hey, come on up. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
I said they had a few.
Damn.
No.
Alright, Rain's coming up.
Hey,
Alright, everybody,
Rain.
let's welcome Rain.
Woo.
Hey, all right.
Rain on me. No, not on me. Rain somewhere else. No, that ain't right either. Rain on stage, bro. Make it wet.
Lean on me.
Okay, let me shut that thing off there. There we go. Well, you know, I'm not sure how to start here. I was talking to one of my scientific friends, He says, you know what? I can't trust Adams anymore. And I said, well, how come? He says, because they just make up everything.
Isn't that the truth?
You know, a skunk has no money, well, except for 1 cent.
1 cent. This is bad.
Oh,
It
good
is
one. That's
bad.
good.
I noticed on my last visit to the dentist that my dentist calls the x-rays of my teeth toothpicks. It's not what I call them. There was a fire recently at the circus, and it was intense.
Intense. It was intense.
I was told that the difference between a hippo and a zippo is that one is really heavy and the other one is just a little lighter. You know that bullets can't keep a job because they keep getting fired. When you measure snakes, you have to use inches because they don't have any feet. I know. That's very sad. Terrible joke. Phil walks into his boss's office one day and says, "Sir, I'll be honest with you. I know economy isn't that great, but I've got 3 companies after me, and I'd like to ask for a raise respectfully." After a few minutes of haggling with the boss, he finally agrees to give him a 5% raise. And he happily agrees and gets up to leave. And by the way, the boss says, what are the 3 companies that are after you? He says, the electric company, the water company, and my cell phone company. You know, if you cross a pig, or no, if you cross, let me see here. If you teach a pig karate, you got pork chops. That's it. That's the joke. I can tolerate algebra, maybe even calculus, but geometry is where I draw the line. I would try an almond diet, but you know, that's just nuts.
It is.
If your house is always cold, you should try standing in the corner because it's always 90 degrees there.
That's good.
That's a good one.
My pastor says you can make holy water yourself. You just take the water and boil the hell out of it.
That's a good one.
Funny.
I know how to make Budweiser. I sent Bud to school. I heard that roofs don't cost a thing because they're always on the house. I was going to tell you a joke about an organ donor, but I just don't have the guts to share it. What do you call someone who is a master at baiting?
Oh God, let's not
A
go there.
skilled seaman. Clean it up, guys. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks.
Yay! Good.
job.
All right. Big
Thank
hand
you,
for Rain,
Rain.
y'all.
Woo!
Well done, Rain. Those are good.
Thanks.
All right. I think we've managed to fill up the whole hour, with the exception of those 7 minutes in the beginning. But that's all right.
Well, we was waiting on Porcelana, so they were minutes well spent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we tried.
Fashionably late.
Fashionably late. All right, everybody. Thank everybody for coming tonight. I want to
Thank
thank
you,
everybody for sharing your jokes, sharing your laughs, and sharing your time. And Jim, you got an announcement?
Yeah, I was curious about anybody here if they're interested in trying to restart the demolition derby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got 2,
Okay. I hear
Sure,
some
that'd be fun.
yeses.
Okay.
3.
Pretty
All
good
right.
when it's gonna be.
On Thursdays?
Well, I would probably do mine on Wednesdays, and anybody else who is willing to host could host whenever day they're available. We've been getting some people saying they would host on their land here and there, but nothing's really panned out yet. But just wanted to check to see if there was interest, so we could try to push and try to find some land to put it up.
Yeah, sure.
Isn't there already one set up?
No,
Not no more.
no more.
They took it down.
Yeah, so
But we have to talk about how many prims it is, and make it work something out here in the sky. Depending on how many prims.
yeah, I don't
It's
remember.
gonna be
what
a
I
lot
said.
of prims. It's a lot of prims, a lot of scripts.
Oh yeah, that's right. Huh?
I bet you, yeah.
Forgot about the scripts. Scripts don't really matter.
What did you say, Wild, about wait for what?
Fit and Gleed, they're not here tonight, so they might be interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, they're probably watching, so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, when you come on,
in their sense,
Lee
tell
and
us
Vid,
what they
just
think
give me an
when they come
IM,
back.
let me know you're interested. Yeah.
All right, signing out, everybody.
All right. Good night.
Hey.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Good night,
You
everybody
two
stay
people.
safe.
Night, good night, night.
Yeah,
See y'all
subscribe,
then.
share, and comment. Talk to
And
us.
comment.
And
I'm
good
gonna
night.
go hunt with the
Good
bees.
night.
See y'all.